my baby. Ooh, 1 + 1 is 1. And Mary already have like 50 of them.
Some reason my nail tastes better tonight.
Probably because it's got all that little saucy sauce.
That's probably true.
We just had some of Mark's friends from the military. They came over tonight, and Mark, he is an avid, like, nail biter.
No, I'm not. I don't bite my nails.
It's bad. See, you're doing it right now.
I don't bite my nails.
It's so bad. Like, I thought when I first met him that he was like nervous. I thought he was that nervous because there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening in our relationship, and I thought, oh my gosh, like, this guy is out of his mind. Crazy.
I do not bite my nails.
That still might be true. I don't know. But, I mean, no, he doesn't bite them. He gnaws on them. Like, it's bad. It is bad. And there was one time in our relationship that he was like, I'm going to prove you wrong. I can stop biting my nails. And he did.
I did stop for a week.
No, it's longer than that, wasn't it? It was like closer to a month, I feel like. But anyway, so his nails got so long and like, ugh, ratchet. Speaking of ratchet, there's stuff under mine. Anyway, okay, welcome back. That was a
Welcome back. Yeah, that was a very nosy introduction.
Interesting introduction.
About my nails, which I don't bite my nails. But anyway.
Well, no,
So,
he
welcome
doesn't.
back.
No, he doesn't bite his nails, but he's currently sitting here with a toothpick, picking them. Please stop. Like, stop.
Welcome back to
Oh my gosh.
second part of When Did We Know?
He's catching on to this English
When
thing.
did we know that things were going to be difficult?
I'm so sorry,
Okay.
y'all.
Things were going to be difficult and stuff. Last week, we shared about how the big portions of things and
kind of the defining
the major
for
alerts.
both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so welcome to part 2 of When Did We Know We Were Going to Face Troubles, and when did we know things were going to be difficult?
Yeah.
You
so,
go.
I will say, like, those were the two major things for both of us. He knew, like, obviously way before I did, that things were gonna be difficult.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a clairvoyant.
I knew when we met my mom in Starbucks, like, oh, there might be a little more to this than.
Yeah.
But I really knew that we were in trouble when my dad made those comments. So, but between those times, there were
several small
like
moments,
little events, stories
that kind of
put the whole puzzle
together. I guess, yeah. I mean, there's always like small little things that I'm like pay attention to. I'm like, that's not normal. That's not normal. Like, for example, like you were living with your sister, and I would come from Charlotte and come visit, and I would always have to book a hotel room when you were paying your sister rent and living in a separate room with a separate bathroom and stuff like that.
Sorry.
I remember.
This is. I remember when I started looking to buy a condo on my own. I told my realtor that I wanted to buy a condo, and she was like, "Oh, do you rent from a like landlord and stuff?" And I was like, "No, I rent from my sister." And she was like, oh, like very casually, oh, so you build into her equity every month. I don't know. That just because I was like, well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
What was I saying?
That comment just popped into my mind.
I forgot
Oh,
what
so
I was
you would have to buy,
So
you would
I'd
have to
pay
rent
for
a hotel
rent a
room.
hotel, even though you were staying and paying rent to her. I would have to stay in a hotel, and I remember one time I bought a bed
Yeah.
for you,
Mhm.
and then it was so stupid, and then you were like asking her for permission for me to go put the bed together,
Yeah.
and she still said no.
Mhm.
And that's when I was like, you know what? Yeah, you need to get your own place, man. Like, no, you need to get your own place and be a grown woman on your own and stuff. And I think that's like a while after that. That's when the process began.
For me to buy a condo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a little while after that.
Yeah, it was a
I don't
little
remember.
while. I
It was a
mean-
while after that, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So,
That
so
was.
those were this was one of the moments that pissed me off. I was so pissed off about that. I mean, all the time, especially when you ask her, "Hey, can Mark come and help me put the bed together?" She was like, "No," something like that, and I was like,
Well, and
"You didn't even have to ask. We just showed up
yeah.
because you pay rent here." Like,
Yeah.
But
I guess one thing that never, and still really doesn't. Sorry, I've got to sneeze.
sneeze 1, 2, 3.
No, I'm gonna try to hold it in. But anyway, one thing that did not make sense and still really doesn't make sense is like the whole reason behind my sister and my brother and even my mom, like just the people that in my family that don't like Mark, like the reason behind it. Because even like from the very beginning, I would ask them why, and it was like, well, he's just different than us. And I was like, culturally, racially, like, what is it? And they would always say, well, both. And that, I mean, those things are true. Like, obviously, you can look at us and tell we're racially different. You can hear Mark's accent.
You can hear my sexy accent.
Yes, sexy accent. That's not good. Anyway.
I wish I had an African accent.
Oh, is that African I just did?
No, he didn't do no accent.
I
Oh
did.
yeah, Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
They thought
I
I
like
was
African
different.
music.
Ah.
But
If they think my accent was different, oh, you should have married like an African brother. Ooh,
Yeah.
we nah.
like
whatever.
like
I'm just
Usman
playing.
on 90 Day Fiance.
Whatever. But yeah,
Soulja Boy. Soulja, not soul. Anyway, so I never understood why, like, and I never got a clear understanding or reasoning for why they didn't want me to be with Mark. And still to this day, I don't know why. And what's crazy is, so after I moved out, my sister, shortly after that, changed her locks. And I didn't know this. I had no reason to go over there, but something came up in conversation, and my mom told me that she had changed her locks because she was scared of Mark coming over there. And I was like, what in the world? What in the world? But I don't know. I have never gotten just a clear answer from anyone.
I don't know. I've never. The only person I've talked to who told me this wasn't gonna work is your mom. And the one time we talked at Starbucks about it, and she told me like her family wasn't gonna accept me because I'm black.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only time. I mean, even your brother or your sister, I've never have any conversations really with them. Your brother, every time we interact, is because I initiated it, or I know I've shake his hand like a couple times. Like when I go to your family's, your mom's, I'll see him and be like, hey, and I'll be like, hey, and then he'll shake my hands. But That's about it. There's no conversation or anything. I don't think we've ever looked each other and talked for like 1 minute.
No,
We've never talked for like 1 minute. But it is what it is. It's not. It's not. You know.
Yeah. It's interesting, and another time that comes to my mind is when I graduated from the master's program.
Oh,
after
at
I
Lipscomb,
finished
yeah.
my master's program. We, obviously Mark was there, and my family was invited, and my brother lives out of town anyway, so I wasn't expecting him to be there, but my
But
mom.
he did come.
Oh yeah, he did. Didn't
Yeah,
he?
he came. Kobe didn't know you
Yeah.
came to the.
They did come,
Yeah.
didn't they? So they came. So anyway,
Yeah.
but my dad didn't, and it was because Mark was there. And so it's just like, what in the world?
Yeah, it was just weird. Like, and I think that's what I told you. Like, if I ever have a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
there's no man that will stop me from being there for my daughter.
Yeah.
Like, if a major event is happening and I'm coming, and I need to be there, I am going to be there. And if I don't like you, I don't want you there, you are not coming.
Mm-hmm.
But as of for me, you better bet I will be there. And I don't know. It was just, that was one moment where I was like, that says a lot about a person. Too, it's like, oh, you graduating. Oh no, I'm not coming because these guys won't be there. And then I remember, like, we went to eat after.
Yeah.
Your sister didn't stay. She left.
Yeah.
She didn't come eat with us too,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. It was just me, your mom, and your brother and his wife, and your sister just left.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it was just funny. For me, the one time that got me was when your father was in the hospital.
Uh-huh.
And
We were married at
But
that
at
point.
that point.
I mean, like
and
just a couple, few weeks.
Yeah.
Married. But.
so I was in town, and your father was in the hospital, and oh, I'm tired.
Yeah. You cooked all day.
But anyway, I was in town, and your father was in the hospital. I think it was like close to before he passed,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
We were going
about
to
a week
church.
before he passed.
We were going to church, and the phone rang, and it was your mom, and she was like, "Well, I don't know. It seems like this is gonna be it. Do you all need to come to the hospital?" And then you were like, "Okay, well, I was on my way to church. I'm coming." And then in the midst of her husband dying, she paused and said, "Is Mark with you?"
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, "Yeah, Mark is with me." And she legit says, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about coming." And I would pause and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And that's when I would look at you. I said, "No, tell her you coming and I'll just stay in the car."
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, "Yeah, well, we'll come with stuff like that." And then we drove straight. We didn't go to church. We went straight to Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed in the car. Well, I stayed in the car. I don't know why I didn't just drive. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, why didn't I just drive home and come pick you up? Didn't I?
Well, I think, I mean,
I don't know why I didn't do that.
Well,
I was thinking
I don't
about
know.
that's so dumb thinking about
I
it
mean,
now.
I'm just thinking that maybe.
Well, I
you
guess
thought
I just wanted to be there support wise or whatever. I don't
that
know
was
why.
part of the reason you stayed. You wanted, because he was like.
I'm so stupid.
And
Now I'm thinking about it. Like now I'm just thinking about it, right? So her mom called and said, "Your dad is it don't seem like he's gonna make it. You need to come." And she said, "Well, Mark is with you. Don't worry about coming." I was like, "Yeah, we'll come. I'll stay in the car." So we drove to Vanderbilt, and I stayed in the freaking car the whole freaking day. That was so dumb.
To the point that the car died.
So I stayed in the car the whole day, and my dumb, I turned the car off, but leave the radio on, just chilling in the car, just sitting there and just waiting, and the car keep playing and playing and playing, and listening to music or just playing, and then the car died.
Car died.
The car died. I had to call a friend of mine to come and jump the car.
Yep.
I should have.
True.
I should have just left and come pick you up, but that's so dumb thinking about it.
Mhm.
But I don't know why I don't know why I stayed there. Yeah.
But one thing that was really special and meaningful to me is, and this honestly just kind of like sums up who Mark is that my dad like had nothing to do with Mark, never spoke a word to Mark. Mark never met him, and that was not because of his choice. I mean, Mark's choice. It was my dad that was.
Because you would have killed me. I'm just kidding. Well,
No.
I mean, he said it, but I don't think he would have killed. He would have seen me. He probably would have run away anyway.
I don't know.
I mean,
But one thing that
I got that look.
that's meaningful to me is that even like when I called Mark, and my dad, shortly after, probably like a week or so after that, Mark went back to, so that was on a Sunday. He flew out or drove back, I don't know,
Yeah.
to Charlotte because he was still in school and he was finishing up his senior year. He was an RA. I mean, are you good?
No, I'm listening.
Like,
I'm
okay.
listening. I'm just thinking. I'm just
how
thinking
stupid
about.
you
I'm just remembering back. Like I'm still on the car thing. Like why didn't I just leave?
Anyway, so my dad was moved to palliative care, which is hospice, and we knew that he didn't have very much longer, and he actually kind of, I don't know if he like died and then like came back. I don't know what happened, but they called us, and my mom and sister and I spent the night over there just to kind of be a support for my mom. And I called Mark, and then he was like, okay, just let me know what's going on. And the next day, my dad actually, like that next night, he did pass away. And I called Mark, and he was like, I'll be there tomorrow. And so, I don't know, that's just, to me, like, meant a lot to me that this man that was cruel in a lot of ways and just hateful, although he never spoke hate to Mark, he showed it in like lots of different ways. Mark was still there to make sure that he was supportive for me, and you weren't at the funeral, were you? No. So my mom, so Mark and I had just gotten married, like 2 or 3 weeks before my dad passed away. And my mom told me on my dad's, like, I don't know what they're called, when you go see people at the funeral home, and like a brochure. It's not
Toe
a brochure.
tag?
No, not a toe tag.
What?
But like the little like card pamphlet brochure that you get. You know, I don't know the right word. Write up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where it mentions like all their kids and family and all of that. And she said, well, I mean, I changed your name to Fatan. Like I listed you under Fatan. And I said, well, you should have, because I'm married now. So that's not like something grand that you've done. Like that's just something that makes sense because I'm married. And that was how a lot of people that came through the visitation line found out that I was married. They were like, I'm so sorry about your dad, but congratulations on your marriage. I'm not kidding you. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They were like, I'm so sorry for your dad. Like hugging me, and then mid-hug, they were like, oh, and congratulations on your marriage.
So you celebrate your wedding and your dad's funeral.
2 in 1. It's 2 birds, 1 stone. I mean,
Yeah,
it's one of those
I
things.
did not go to your dad's funeral because I think for me it was more of a respect thing. I mean, one, the guy did not like me, and two,
Yeah.
in his last breath, in his last moment, when your mom should have been worried about her husband passing, she was more worrying about me not being there at the hospital. So I reckon, like, yeah, I don't think the funeral would be the best place to be at. If she didn't want me to be there in a moment of panicking, of like, oh my God, this is happening, blah, 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 blah. Like, if you passing away, I do not have time to worry about people that I hate or people that I don't care about. But for some reason, she was like, hey, your dad is passing away and stuff like that. Okay, we're coming. What do you mean we? Is Mark with you? Yeah. Well, don't worry about coming. It's okay. Like, what? And I'm like, okay. So, I don't know. There's several things that I knew that would never change. And I knew that I would have to get to the point where, and the one reason why I tried so hard to just, um, be part or participate or respect your family is more for you to see that, you know what, yeah, I can't ask him to do more because he's done enough, he's put the effort in. That's why I tried so much. But other than that, I already knew, like, yeah, this is not going to go anywhere. Like, it's going to come to a point where it's going to be like me who just be like, you know what, I'm done, and
Which
that's what, yeah,
is terrible.
and that's what it is. And the funny thing is, it is what it is. Like, I'm not losing anything by just be like, you know what, I'm done. Like, it's not like, and I know for a fact they're not losing anything for for being like, yeah. I mean, it's like, we don't need to talk to this guy. They don't need to talk to me, and I don't need to talk to them. And but for me, before I come to that conclusion, I make sure I put my time in, I put my effort in, and at some point I'm like, you know what, it's useless trying and putting the effort in and doing all that. So
I agree
yeah,
completely, which
but
is
it was so many different small things um, that just solidify that we would get to that point where it would never be a thing of your family supporting you, not supporting me. They don't need to support me, but supporting you as
yeah.
their family, and as a mother to you, and stuff like that. It's, yeah, I never think that it would get to that point.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And it is like people will say, it is like your stories are crazy. Or like, I have two close friends that I work with that are also in interracial relationships, and they're like, we cannot, they're like, they want to know more about our story because their family is very supportive of them, and and it's just like they're like, it is crazy what you guys have gone through. And I'm like, it is, but also, it's one of those things that I think there has to be a reason and a purpose that we go through these things, and which was a lot of the reason why we decided to start this channel, was because we wanted to be a support to people or just educate people on things that we've learned along the way. So yeah, those are our stories. We'll
This
tell
is
more
some crazy stuff.
along the way.
Yeah.
But I think soon we're going to talk about when we and why we broke off our engagement.
Yeah, why the engagement was broken off.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, clearly you know how it turns
No, I still don't know how it turns out.
Oh, stop.
You never know.
Well, thank you for joining us, and don't forget to like, subscribe, click, and comment. Oh, also, I thought it'd be fun, like, people that comment, we could do like a shout out if they
Shout out.
comment and like
Or why don't we just answer a question if there's a question?
Or answer a question, you know, something like that. So, anyway.
Shout out to you who comment. That's the shout out.
Yeah, people that want us to shout them out. You know. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching.
And
until next time.
we'll see you soon.